Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Hytale. I built this cozy little starter house, and I figured I'd show it off and show you how to build this if you're looking for a nice and cozy little design to get you started on your brand new Hytale adventure. So it's rather simple. You should be able to find these materials relatively easily early on. So you'll need some normal cobblestone. You also need some mossy cobblestone, which I've been able to find just randomly out in the world. Some mossy rocks sometimes in these forests. Then we got both the hardwood, the softwood, as well as this light birch wood. All of those should be easily findable. Like you've got some birch trees here, we've got some oak trees, etc., that will give you hardwood, and then there should be some beech trees, relatively easy to find in the early areas, that can get you the softwood. And yeah, there we go. So we've got a nice cozy little house here, as you can see, with the ground floor having a little fireplace there. And then, yeah, the wood's kind of going from darker to a little bit lighter. Nice little roof on it. And a little section here off to the side, just for the extra workspace. Because some of these crafting stations, or most of these crafting stations, actually take in a lot of room. Because they're quite big compared to, you know, what we have built here. So, yeah, if we take a look over here, we have the builder's one. We have the normal workbench. And then some of the armor stuff and the tannery here and stuff like that. We have a cozy little interior too. So we have a fireplace here that, if we turn it on, of course, it turns this little room a lot more cozy. Then you can cook your food there. We have the furniture bins over here. We've got a bunch of storage around us, just easily available. And then once we want to go up, we have a little ladder to lead to the next floor. We have a nice cozy table here with a lantern on it. Then we also have this fancy cupboard here, looking quite cool. And then again, a little bit of more storage next to your bed and a cozy bedroom. Oh, it started raining as well. Yeah, nice and cozy. So definitely a decent amount of space here, I think, to get you started. So yeah, anyway, that is the cozy little starter base that I made. You don't need too much to build it. So yeah, let's go jump in on how to build this cozy little house for yourself. Okay, to get started, obviously, we want to start with laying down a wall first of the main building. And we can just kind of use these stone bricks. But if you want to add a little bit of texture in there, I definitely recommend blending in some of the mossy variants as well. Yeah, just to kind of spice things up a little bit more. And you make it a little bit more interesting like this. So the back wall is 6 long. And then the side walls are going to be 8 long in total. So we're going to go about here. We'll leave one open for now because, of course, we're going to have the chimney eventually too. So we want to go around this size, maybe at one here. Then we're going to have one open here, of course, for the eventual door. So probably go mossy over here, and then we'll do some normal one over there. And yeah, then we can kind of just fill in the remaining parts like this. So we're going to have an opening here for the door to the little workshop. We have the main door there, and then this is going to be part of the fireplace. So for now, we can at least make sure that we have those kind of blocked in, because that's going to all be part of the fireplace. And then here off to the side, we can prepare a little bit of room for the little workshop that we'll have on the outside. Now, we can do a lot of this, of course, with our normal cobblestone, but again, we kind of want to blend in a few bits of the mossy blocks here and there as well, just to give it a little bit more texture. And yeah, just kind of making it feel a little bit more random than being perfectly cobble. So yeah, then the rest of this we can do. We bring it out by about 4, but of course you can extend this to your needs, whatever you see fit. And since we're going to have the entrance over here, it might also be nice to kind of blend these two together. So, you know, maybe make sure that we have some kind of path forming from at least the door to this side part. So you might want to have this a little bit more like a nice random shape to bring it all together. And then for everything on the inside, of course, we can just use our softwood planks to fill in the entire interior. So we're just gonna open this all up and add in the planks so that we are ready on the inside there. So first of all, we can bring out those simple wooden doors. We can, of course, place one over here as well as over there. And then just to make it easier on ourselves, you probably want to open those up so that once we start building the rest of the build, we can still easily go in and out. And then next, we are going to build up the walls. We're going to start with this nice hardwood block with the little details at the bottom, just as, you know, adding a little bit more interest to our build. For here, we can just do the entire wall from start to front. And then we can also add another layer of these blocks all the way on the top there, so that we have now a 3-high wall, 2 layers of this wood, but first the decorative one and then just a normal one. And then we can actually have a stair at the end on both sides. Then we'll focus here on the main entrance. Of course, we can have a block above the door. Then we can have the decorative one here and 2 over here on the corner. We're going to have a nice window there in the middle. So we'll have normal blocks here and some normal blocks on there. And then we can also add a staircase right there, but also right here in the middle, because this is actually going to be a simple wooden window so that we can bring in some natural light and enjoy the views of our surroundings. Then over this side, we want to add 1 block over here and 2 on that corner as well. Then we want to have the normal planks right on top of there. And then above the window, we can have a staircase again, because we are going to add another little window right there. And then to build up the actual chimney here, the fireplace, we can add some stone bricks in, of course. What you want to do is maybe also still blend in a little bit of the moss where we can, just to get a little bit more shape and more interest going on there. And then to shape up the rest of this chimney, we kind of are going to add a few blocks here. We are going to raise this up by 2 and then 2 more right on top of there. This is the rough shape. Of course, we're going to add some stairs to make this a little bit nicer. But for now, that's all the pieces we need. And then all the way here at the back, we can actually make a slightly bigger window. So we can have 2 windows over there, which means we can, of course, have our decorative blocks there. We can have our normal planks there and then some stairs right above the windows to create a little bit more interest, and of course stairs there on the corner. And then if you want to add some details, we can have some wooden shelves right here in front of those windows, just to add a little bit more details to them. We can have them over there too. And here at the back, we can add the stairs over there, stairs over here facing that side, and then 1 on top of there, so that it kind of goes into the main building. It also means that we can build this up to the same height for now. And then here on the inside, we can bring out a simple wooden ladder and we can add in it to the next layer. Then we can bring out the hardwood half slab, but if you just place it, at least for me, it seems to place it against the wall. But if you press R, you can see kind of a preview. I'm not sure if that's the same as survival. I hope so, because this is the way that we can actually place them as normal floors. And this way we can make sure that we can add in the next floor without, you know, losing too much space down here, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit narrow down here. And then for the fireplace here, we want to just add the campfire there, just as a nice cozy detail. We can have some beams over here. Then we can have a stair here, a stair there. And then you can either have one here or you can have one like this. Whatever you prefer, of course. I think I might have done this, but I actually quite like this too, because you see a little bit more of the cauldron and the campfire there. And you can see you can easily reach it. So whenever we need to cook something or, you know, power it up, it's going to be quite easy. And it adds a lot of atmosphere to your cozy little house. So right over here on the side, from that corner, we're going in a little bit from the side. We'll do the same thing over here. And then down here, we can go by 2 before we place the stone beam here. The same over there. And then we can build a wooden beam, hardwood beam on top of it. That's going to be the supports for the little side roof. But before we do that, we actually want to build up the rest of a wall here. So we want to go to the next layer, and we actually want to add 3 beams here. So this is the birch logs that we want to add on the corners here, just to build it up a bit. And then here of this side is actually very easy. We can just fill this in completely with these planks that you craft from those birch logs. The light wood planks. They're quite nice. And then here on the other side, we can actually kind of make some nice shapes. We want to build a kind of window frame here. And we want to do the same thing over at the other side. And of course, here in the middle, we can have this pillar go up because that's still the chimney. And of course, we can actually also add in the windows over here so that we get those nice views already. Then over here on this side, we actually want to raise this up by 3. So we can do that for both of those. And of course, we can do the same here on the front. And that's actually because we can have some very nice windows in here. So we want to make a big window there and a big window at the back. And then once we take a look at it from the outside, we can add in some stairs underneath to shape it up a little bit. We can also add those stairs above the windows, meaning of course we can do the same thing over here on the other side. So we want to add some stairs in, some stairs up there. And then finally 2 more wooden planks on the top of there. So that's kind of the shape of the whole building. And then on top of the chimney here, we can add 2 more stone bricks. We can mix in a little bit of moss again. And then over here, we can bring out our softwood roofs here. And yeah, we can add one in over there. Have it extend a little bit on the side, of course. And bring this all the way over from one side to the other. There we go. And then once again, on top of that, we can have another layer of these roofs attaching. And this is going to be the little workplace, of course. There we go. And now we should be able to place these roofs. You want to place that against that block. That's the easiest way I found it to place them, because if you try to place them otherwise, sometimes they will end up like a little bit lower than this, which isn't really what you want. So yeah, with that, we have the little workshop off to the side ready. And then of course you can add in all of your workstations and the furnace, etc., to make it very practical for your own little survival playthrough. And then we can start to focus on the main roof here. Before we do the main roof, we can have 2 cobblestones on top of that, and then we can have the stone brick beam. That is going to be our whole little chimney. Then it's time to start on the roofs. We're going to use the hardwood roofs for this, and we can start over there and just place it all the way along the sides, of course, and have it stick out a little bit on the front. Same over here and over there. But we're going to add a little addition over here. We'll bring it in by 2 on both sides before we add the third facing this way, so that we kind of get a nice shape in here to have a little addition here in the main building. We can then actually add our stairs upside down there to kind of create a little bit of a window, just a smaller shape. And then on top of that, we can add more roofs to finish out that little shape, just to add a little bit more interest to this side of the building. Then we can continue to build the rest of the roof over here. So we just want to come and bring these all the way across, and then this should link up, of course. We can just keep going on the top layer, bring that all the way over to the other side, and then we should also be able to fill in this layer again, which will then connect up to that little addition that we have over there. The other side is a lot easier. We don't have anything special to keep in mind. We can just kind of go all the way along the side over here. Then we can do the same over there, all the way from one side to the next, and continuing to fill in the roofs. Oops, you will really want to make sure you place it against the sides here. This one can be a little bit tricky because we want to make sure that it's still facing the right way. And there we go. Continue that, and then the final layer is a bit easier, of course, because we already have the opposite side to place it against. And finally, of course, we can also add in some nice shelves at the bottom of these windows as some additional details. And there we go. That is how you build a cozy little starter base. As you can see, we now have the workshop area here. We can place a bunch of your crafting stations. You have the downstairs area that you can fill up as well. And of course, the little room on the top for your bedroom. And even some more space should you need it. And there we go. That is how you build this cozy little starter house in Hytale. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do a lot more builds in a few different games. And yeah, let me know if you'd like to see some more builds here in Hytale as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video or the next stream. For now, goodbye.